Hi, I'm Brett. This is Jaded Reviews, and today we're going to be doing Fit for a King's Slave to Nothing album. Some things that stand out to me on this album are Ryan O'Leary's clean vocals. They work very well with the genre and with the harsh vocalist. Another thing would be Jason Esterling's drumming. He is a very talented drummer, and there's some parts in this album that seriously stand out to me, and I will be getting into detail with those later. The first track that I'd like to talk about is the title track, Slaves to Nothing. This track stands out to me because of the fast beat at the beginning with the harsh vocals, and then we have this drum and vocal interval that really works with the song, where the guitars are just out and then the bass is kind of in the background. And then it goes into this vocal solo where everything cuts out and it goes, I'm a slave to nothing, and then there's this big breakdown, and I'm assuming that's probably where everyone goes crazy at the shows, which I would really love to see. And then we have a really passionate chorus from Ryan O'Leary. This song is just a really great rebellious anthem. One of my favorite tracks on this album is called Hooked. If you don't listen to anything on this album, this is one that you should definitely listen to. The thing that stands out to me is when everything slows down and there's these whispered vocals from one of them. I'm not really sure who it is. And then we have a whisper where he just says, "Give it up, you'll never escape." And then there's this really big growl and a breakdown, and it just makes me want to punch something. I love it, and if you, like I said, if you haven't heard this album, this is the first thing that you should listen to. Another reason that Ryan O'Leary really stands out to me is on the track Selfish Eyes. Now that would be because he's the only vocalist on that track. Now I think that this was a track that was really needed in this album because of a lot of the harsh vocals and everything going crazy. This is kind of a break from all that and just kind of a slower hard rock song. I always love when albums do that, where they kind of give you a break from the big heaviness and they just do something slower, and you know, like they did on this album, and like Mice and Men did with Would You Still Be There on their most recent album, Restoring Force. On the track A Greater Sense of Self, we hear a lot of greatness from Ryan O'Leary. We have this slower part where he's sort of singing in a low tone, and then we have this really big "Have more faith in me," like that part, that chorus just makes me so happy whenever I hear it, and it's just, he's so passionate with his vocals, and it's almost like a yelling singing, and I really love his voice. And the drumming on a certain part, towards the middle of the song where he's doing that high part, it's just him and the drummer kind of stand out, like I said in the beginning. They're just like drums with the vocals, and you know, you'll hear it when you listen to it. So that song is definitely something worth checking out. My absolute favorite track from this album would be the song Imposter. Now, for so many reasons. Now, first of all, we have this slow start, but then this beat comes in, and then we have a part where Ryan O'Leary starts singing, "We know that you're faking it," and then it jumps back to the other harsh vocalist who's like doing the vocals, and it keeps jumping back and forth between them. And then there's this line that says, "The liar in heaven makes an angel in hell," and I don't know why, but that stood out to me so much, and that happens to me in everything I listen to. There's always something that there's one line that I love so much. Another reason that I really love this track would be for the breakdown. Now, breakdowns are one of my all-time favorite things in songs, and especially on this one. For the breakdown, we have the harsh vocalist says something like, "For the first time the world will see you for who you really are," something along those lines, and then he growls really loud, "Imposter," and then it goes a really fast breakdown, and it's just, again, one of the best tracks that you should check out on this record. So yes, overall this record was a great hit, and it's going to stay on my iPod for a long time. To review, some of the best things that you should look out for are the drum intervals and the drum solos, and Ryan O'Leary's clean vocals with such passion and such great notes that he can hit. Now, harsh vocalist, I will say, is kind of generic, but things that I like to look out for are clean vocalists, because a lot of harsh vocalists can sound the same. And I know clean vocalists can too, but Ryan O'Leary just blew me away on this album. Tracks that you should definitely listen to on this album: Slaves to Nothing, Imposter, Hooked, Breakaway, and A Greater Sense of Self, and Selfish Eyes. That's 6 out of 11. I know it's a lot, but I really love this album, and I think that if you like this genre, that you definitely will too. Also, follow me on Twitter. My handle is Bretticide, like the word suicide, with my name. I know it's a little strange, but that's what it is. Peace.